I'm ready.
All right.
We're gonna hear the intro music.
Yes.
Okay. that gets me in there, you know.
All right, here we go.
Oh my God, sorry. Am I on?
Check. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, that means you're now tuned into chapter 97 of the Introverted Intuition Podcast. My name is Jeff, a.k.a. the Petty Podcaster, a.k.a. the Ambitious Introverts. Got my family with me tonight. I'm going to actually, no, don't say nothing. I'm going to introduce you guys, or going to allow you guys to introduce yourselves by the level of beef that I have with you. I have beef with all three of you, honestly. So the first person who can introduce themselves is Lainey, because I have the least amount of beef with Lainey. But we always end up having some beef by the end of the night. But this is a small amount right now. So, Helena, please say hi to the people.
Oh God.
Please. She's not going to say anything? Okay, so me and Lainey have no beef. So that's
Now it's little. Okay.
Level two is CR, a.k.a. Conscious Rap.
Me? Good evening, motherfuckers.
CR, fresh back from DR.
Yes.
Hi, CR.
Avoided the mini bar.
Back.
My beef
Thank
with
you.
CR tonight is I asked for I believe it's called a souvenir from DR. I didn't get none. Nobody else got anything from DR. You just came back with mad stories, no souvenirs, no seashells.
No seashells in the
merchandise.
can.
But
You
you
know
know
what I
what's
mean?
crazy? There weren't any seashells. It was just sand.
Fuck out of here.
I could have brought you some
You
seaweed.
could have bought some sands. You could have bought some sands in a cup. You know what I mean?
Oh, sand in the cup. That was
Yeah.
And what could you have done with sand in a cup?
It would have been a good gesture on his part.
You
I would've
think
been-
TSA would have let me come back with that? That would have been trafficking.
Yeah.
Like,
For real.
The fact that you didn't even think about it is crazy, and I got beef with you because of that. It's not gonna go away until tomorrow. Level 3 of the beef.
the highest
Bring it.
level.
Coco.
Bring it.
Went to the movies, went on a date
Yeah.
to go see a movie that I initially requested that we all go see.
Which you fucked up on, but that's another story. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
we all.
Go ahead.
Yes, I fucked up on it. CR fucked up too.
What'd I do?
He didn't.
The text
Go ahead.
message and the
That was
fucking-
all you, Jeff.
Oh, that.
Deflecting.
yeah.
It was all you.
That was
for
all
deflecting.
Trying to put it on me.
Coco, you went
Yes.
on a date to see Midsummer and you
I
didn't
did.
invite me. What you could have done?
Say that again.
You went on a date to go see Midsummer.
Who's gonna be a third wheel on a date?
No, you think I can't get a date?
See, no, you're misconstruing what I'm saying. I said, who's gonna be a third wheel? Oh, you're saying because you could have gotten a date as well. Is that what you're saying?
No,
I want a double date. The shit you talk about
No,
right
what you
now.
could have done was be like, yo, you know what? I know you want to see Midsummer. I'm going to the movies, but I'm going with somebody, so I'm going at this time. If you want to just like get a seat in a different part of
All
the
right,
theater,
Jeff. Next time I got
and
you.
we can see each other on the way out. We can see each other on the way out. You know what I mean? And
I
just
got
act
you next
casual
time.
that way.
Uh,
I wouldn't have embarrassed you in
Okay.
front of your date.
All right, get to the real beef about the fact that you were mad that I said I
You
waited
said the
2
movie
hours
was
and
bad.
then
Yeah.
yes.
You sat through the entire two and a
2
half
hours.
whatever movie,
It was two hours. So obviously the movie is longer than 2 hours.
and you didn't even see the ending. What
No,
was
because
the point?
At that point, well, I thought there was a point, and apparently I waited 2 hours for it. But at that point, I gotten so frustrated that I didn't give a shit what the fuck the ending was. I just left.
I'm annoyed. Honestly, I'm frustrated.
I'm sorry you're annoyed.
You could have given a full review of Midsummer tonight.
No,
But you can't
it-
only give
bullshit.
90%.
Bullshit is the whole review. Bullshit.
Damn.
Bullshit.
I'm
That's
hurt.
my opinion. I loved Hereditary. I thought it was a great movie. It was scary. I liked that.
I also like that movie.
And I don't even like scary movies. But this shit was boring as hell.
Wasn't there like a lot of flowers and like psychedelics? in that
Hereditary
movie?
was boring too, though. Like,
No.
Think so? I like
But at the
it.
same time, it led up to something.
no, it led up to something.
It got
but
to the
it took a
point.
minute to get there.
At 2 hours,
Like-
clocked at exactly 2 hours, no point. I
I
was
think
just
Hereditary
frustrated.
was just good because it had like some really good scenes and
Acting.
the acting and stuff like that. But overall, I see Midsummer and Hereditary doing the same thing in a sense.
Well, it's the same director, so like, that's like his
Yeah.
style. My favorite part.
I'm
of
gonna go
it,
watch Midsummer tonight when I get home.
Jeff says he's gonna
There,
go
you
see
get a
it
full
anyway.
review.
I want to see it.
Good for you.
My favorite part of Hereditary, I'm thinking back, is when the kid he got so freaked out he jumped out the window. And he just knocks himself out. That's exactly what I would do. That's like some real shit. Like I'm jumping out the window if I see
see
some
doing that.
creepy
Get
cultist
scared.
shit. CR, would you? We have by the way, listeners, we have a guest coming in whenever soon. So and she's gonna only be
Shortly.
here for for like an hour or some change, and then after she leaves, we'll just continue to talk shit, or I'll continue to talk shit.
We'll all talk shit.
But we have nothing to talk about right now, so I guess we'll start with CR's.
How do you say that?
How do you
have a podcast and you say you have nothing to talk about right now?
Well, nothing like specific, like topic wise,
Oh
right?
my god,
Do we?
Wow.
that would be my cue to turn the hell out. Like,
For
tune out.
real.
No one. All right, rewind. If you're still tuned in, we have stuff to talk about. I promise.
We always have stuff to talk
We're
about.
going to start with CR's recap of DR.
Word.
If you want to start with that, if you feel
I
comfortable.
don't care.
How
Yeah.
is DR, CR?
That,
I
What
just
is
think
the
I
mini
like
bar?
that.
I like saying
I like
that.
that rainy leany. So it was fun as fuck. First of all, like when I got out there, I realized that Jersey is a lot hotter than DR, which is strange.
Really?
It is so much hotter over here. Like it was because I
But
guess
we had a heat wave though.
you're right, and I guess because we were by the ocean, it was like a really nice breeze.
Yeah.
So we went out there. One of the dopest things that we did while we were out there, we went on an excursion, which was like we went on a boat and then we went snorkeling. Well, I went snorkeling because as soon as my girl dipped herself in the water, she swam right back to the boat. She was
Why?
like, oh no, oh.
Why? It's
It was
cold.
so-
I know, I understand.
No.
I did the same thing when I did one of those.
Well, two reasons, right?
Panic attack shit.
Things are a little different in DR. For one, there are no traffic lights, probably one main intersection, right? So it's just like different out there, right? They're all riding these mopeds and these motorbikes without helmets. So that kind of shows you there's not really any like organization or anything like that. So when we're getting ready to do this snorkeling thing, you're supposed to get some type of lessons on how to breathe and what you're supposed
Yeah.
to do. We didn't get that.
You don't get that. You
No.
just get your life vest.
No,
they
you
didn't
can't
even give
do
you
that.
that. You
You
have to
can
go get
die.
it yourself. So you get the little vest, you put it on, and then they give you a mask, and they say, "Well, if you want to go, just go."
Yeah.
No.
That's what they do.
They say
Fuck outta here,
you
bro.
can either dive or you can just walk down the boat on the stairs and go in. So me, I'm an adventurous and I'm a thrill seeker. So I'm like, fuck it, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So I go in the water. At first, it was so scary because I couldn't feel the bottom because I'm in the fucking ocean.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm just like, oh shit, but I got my floaty because I can't swim for shit. So I'm just like, so I'm just like,
Wait, you had a
alright.
legit floaty or you had a vest?
Well, it wasn't a vest. It goes around your waist.
Okay. It was
but
a floaty.
But it was helping me, right? So
So
I
it
was-
works.
You're
yeah.
brave. You can't swim?
No, I can't swim.
Yeah,
You are brave as hell,
you're
yeah.
brave as
Bugging.
fuck. Because I went out there, couldn't swim, and I was just like, nah, I'm not about to die in the ocean.
I can understand though, because my girl, she panicked, and I saw that she panicked, but then she said it was because of her asthma, and she felt like she wasn't gonna be able to breathe with the mask because they didn't show her, so she just left me.
I'm
She
out. She's
didn't
out.
even
I
watch
would've
me.
left you
She
too.
She
She
left
didn't
me.
even watch you. That's funny.
Yeah.
Respect.
I did the same thing to my wife. Like, bitch, come back.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Have
Like,
fun.
We met some really dope people from North Carolina that were on the boat. Super cool. They were dancing with us. They played music. The guys that were there who were like operating the boat, they were really cool. It was this one Dominican guy. He was lying so hard because he looked like he was 19, right? He was a handsome dude, right? He had curly hair, everything like that. The girls were looking at him, so he lied and said he was 26.
Oh my god.
I'm like, you could have at least tried to go for 21,
yeah.
22.
Something reasonable now.
Yeah, and then he just out of nowhere, right? When he played the music, he was like, "It's a freaky party." Like, yo, and he had a smirk on his face when he said it. He's like, "It's a freaky party," because he saw these birthday girls. They came from Indianapolis, and
he
they
knew.
was sexy as hell. I ain't even gonna lie. One girl had a butterfly tattoo on her butt cheeks, and she had a fat ass.
How did you see the butt cheeks?
Oh, me and my girl were looking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
You know how he had to throw that in there just in case.
Yeah. Just in case. I had clearance.
my girl was like, "Oh look, babe, she got a butterfly on her butt." I said, "Man, I been saw that." Like,
Nah, but you can't acknowledge that you seen it like prior to that. Like you can't like act like you.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Subconsciously, I try not to, but she actually has no problem with me looking at other girls because she knows who I am,
Yeah.
and she knows I love women, and I have self control. But I'm gonna look, you know what I'm saying? But she be looking with me, you know what I'm saying? She
Shout
could-
out to her.
Yeah, she admires a fat ass. You know
I'm
what
the
I'm
most
saying?
obvious looking. Like you'll know when I'm looking at
It's
fat ass,
okay. I
like,
mean, it's your eyes.
yeah, but like, shout out to my exes, like, like they always be trying to fight me and shit.
Nah, I don't think there's anything wrong
I
with
don't think
looking.
there's anything wrong with looking.
Yeah, because let's be honest,
Like
like
you get a glance, like everybody gets a courtesy glance. Nah, if you're just staring.
If
You
you're
have eyeballs. You
staring.
can't just look straight
Yeah.
ahead like wherever you
Yeah,
go.
we're on the same block and she's in front of us. Like we're walking at a normal pace,
Oh my god.
and like I can't stop.
You
Looking.
gotta
Like,
glance. You gotta like glance and like keep it moving. Like I'm telling you, because
yeah, if
But
it's
it-
too long of
and
a
it's
stare,
too
then it's
long.
just like, all right, nigga, like you know I'm here, right?
trying to put
then
in-
a girl. I swear, when I see couples walking, I look down to the floor automatically. I don't want nobody to. Nope. I just look
You
down.
gotta put it in
I
the
don't
spank
see
bank. So
shit.
you gotta record it with your eyes. Put it into the spank bank just in case.
the
I
spank
look
bank.
down.
And then you know what I mean?
Definitely Jersey.
That's funny as hell.
Those girls give the girlfriends give us the craziest looks. So
Mm.
I got to
Don't
the
look
point
over
where I
here,
just
my
say,
man.
yeah.
Don't look
I
over
just
here.
down.
You can
It's
feel the
like,
energy.
You feel the energy.
As soon as you hit the block, you feel the
Wow.
energy.
So y'all thinking it's cool, like he, like I'm a pay glance and she cool. No, she's actually giving us the death stare, like yeah, bitch, you look too hard. I got something for you. We just
What?
Girls, when you
I
catch
don't
them,
see shit.
like if you're with somebody and you catch them like looking at you, whatever, like the girls will like kind of give you the death stare, but dudes will get insecure and put their arm around the girl and like
That's
bring
a
them
fact.
closer. Like
I seen that.
so, it's just crazy, like the difference between how people react
That's
to
a
that.
fact. I've seen that.
Yeah,
I've definitely seen that.
I don't
I
get
don't
that.
think I've ever seen that.
I don't know. I see mostly the dudes like just like, okay, nigga, yes, I'm looking at your girl. Yes, she look good. You don't have to bring her closer. Like
I've definitely
you're
seen
going to
that.
the same location.
And that literally means don't snatch her from me.
Right. I feel
That
like
means she can get snatched.
that's what I'm to say. There's a sense of insecurity if he's got to do all of that.
Yeah, that's
Shout
right.
out to you guys though. We see your insecurities. How was the food out there?
I was just about to get onto that. So the food for
Tread lightly,
me
I'm
was
hungry.
good. I liked it. Like they had, it was buffet everything.
Mm.
Well, you could do the buffet that was regular. Like they had breakfast, they had lunch, and they had dinner. And if you wanted to do one of the 7 different restaurants, they had Mexican, Japanese, the Dominican restaurant, Italian, French, and I forgot the other shit.
No Haitian.
Nah, man. Nah,
You was
man.
hurt. By the way, I saw a picture of you. You look like a full ass Haitian dad.
Bro, I look
You
so
had to-
black in that shit.
you had
I
to-
love my skin, but yo, I look like a shadow.
Nigga had pineapples on his shorts, chest tears out, all white
He's
shirt.
living his best life.
Oh, look at this Haitian poppy right here. I was like, you always told me you were Haitian, but I never seen it until that photo. Like,
So he went on vacation.
yeah, like nigga went full Haitian on vacation.
CIDR.
That's your next project,
Haitian
bro.
on vacation. I can't deny it, bro. I definitely saw that picture. I'm like, y'all look Haitian as hell. I'm even gonna lie.
Hi.
Yes, this
How are you?
You could have a
Never
seat.
seen-
Welcome.
We're just
welcome.
talking shit and having fun.
But my girlfriend, she didn't like the breakfast because for one, not for nothing, it's nothing but pork. Like there's a heavy pork based eating style out there. Like it was
see.
bro. You ever seen deep fried ham?
Mm.
You said, I'm like, oh my heart. Like,
I've never eaten deep
it-
fried
Like I
ham.
said, my heart.
it was breaded and it was deep fried.
But you ate it,
Of
though.
course.
I didn't have that, but I did have a lot more red meat than I usually would have.
Mm.
So it was just like,
It sounds
I
very
paid for it
Dominican.
when I got home though.
Did you?
Yeah, now I'm going through a cleanse.
You-
Okay, I see you with your
Bullshit,
fruit. There you
You
go.
feel me?
Bullshit, you
I
pulled
am.
up with Popeyes. How you come going
All
with
right,
cleanse?
but look, that's my
But he's
cleanse.
following it with fruit.
It's a different type of cleanse. It's
balance.
not pork.
Right,
Okay.
it's
Balance.
not pork. There you
You're
go.
just-
It's
See,
chicken.
Jesse, we here with it.
What?
Balance.
Whatever. Cleanse on Popeyes.
I'm just saying.
You devoured that biscuit, bruh.
I didn't finish the biscuit. It was a little dry.
Did you put honey on it?
I didn't
No.
have any honey, that's why I didn't finish it. But I did have some Cajun rice. It was delicious.
It's
That shit is
delicious.
bomb. Okay, stop. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So, like I said in the beginning, we had a special guest who was on the way, who is now here.
Hey.
Welcome.
Hello.
I'm a huge fan of our guest's music. I don't know if you guys know or the listeners know, R&B is my favorite genre. Although my voice is very deep, I do sing to my heart's consent.
I didn't know
constantly,
that.
every day.
I did not know
On the way
that.
home
Fun
from work,
fact.
in the morning, in the shower.
Okay, Barry White.
Don't disrespect me. R&B is my favorite genre, and I was very pleased to get that follow-up email for this guest to come on the show. New EP right now?
Yes,
Out
yes.
right now?
Yep.
Please introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah, what's good? What's good? Thank you for having me here.
Thanks for
Yeah,
coming. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
no, for sure. Yeah, most people know me as Butterscotch, but I go by Scotch now, and that's the new, the title of my new EP, Scotch. So,
Why'd you drop the
Yeah.
butter?
you know what? I gotta drop the fat, you know?
Makes sense.
No,
makes sense.
yeah, no, people started calling me Butterscotch like 16, 17 years ago. I wrote this like really dumb song called Butterscotch, and people just loved it. Started calling me Butterscotch. I was like, cool. You know, you always look for a name of like what to call yourself, and then it just happens. You're like, all right, I guess I'll take that. But it's been like 16, 17 years, and so I don't really identify with that name anymore. But that's my website is Butterscotch. All my social media is Butterscotch. So I'm kind of like transitioning to Scotch, and like Scotch is what I introduce myself when I'm out and about. So it's just kind of natural natural thing.
Can I ask, do you actually like butterscotch candy?
I like butterscotch pudding.
I've never had that.
Oh,
That's
that's a real thing.
That's a thing?
Yes.
Wow.
Do you
Yes.
drink
Gotta try
scotch?
That might be my white side, I guess.
Can you put it in between cake?
Do you drink scotch ever?
No, I'm usually like a clear liquor person.
Mm.
Yeah.
That dark brings out the dark side.
I don't know. It brings up
I was trying to get you a scotch deal if they were listening, but I
right.
guess
You know, I'll take it. I'll endorse it. But yeah. I don't drink a lot, or often, I should say.
You see, we clearly do. We all have a problem.
Occasionally.
The bottle's already almost done.
It is, yeah. Good observation
What is your relationship with podcasts? Do you listen to podcasts in your free time?
I do.
there. Awesome.
Do you have any
Yeah.
ones that you want to shout out, or ones that you think that are really bad? You want to?
Oh,
You can be honest.
Yeah.
one of my favorites is Yo, Is This Racist?
Okay.
And another one, Pen Pals Pod. Also, Tea with Queen and Jay.
Cool.
Conan O'Brien I can't even talk podcast. That one's pretty good.
Okay. Those sound like the complete opposite of ours. Like,
Yeah.
A lot less color on that one. It sounds like.
What?
Ooh.
Like the Conan one. Like I don't know.
Don't do Coco like that.
You know, like it's interesting because a lot of you get to know people in a different way
Right.
because he goes into depth with people. It's like it's different from his TV show because there's always breaks. You're promoting something. With this, he sits down and you get to know like how vulnerable these people are. So what I like about that show, I'm plugging his show, Conan, help me out, is that a lot of like my insecurities. I look at these people who are so like Michelle Obama was on it. That was my favorite one.
Dope.
Oh, wow.
And just like hearing her thoughts about the haters, about people commenting on stuff about her, and like even Michelle Obama is insecure about certain things, and you're just like, oh, damn.
Right.
So yeah.
Cool.
But-
I just asked that because, like, you know, podcasts get kind of personal in terms of
Yeah,
interviews. So, like,
yeah.
if there's anything you don't want to answer, obviously, just say pass or
Sure.
tell one of us to shut up.
Okay.
Are you aware that you have a Wikipedia page, by the way?
I do have one. Yeah.
I saw that because I just want to make sure the facts are correct. Like,
Okay.
So, well, I'm not gonna bring them up. It's like if we're asking them, I'm gonna go back to the Instagram.
I was divorced 5 times, so don't bring that up.
Oh no.
No, just kidding. I'm
I was about to say, yo, my drink down. I was like, what?
I kind of didn't want to get into it as soon as you said it though. Like, how'd the first one go? Like,
Word, okay.
Like, after the second one, what made you do the third? Was it money based?
so you're from California initially?
Yes.
What
Oh,
part?
okay.
What part of Cali?
Davis,
Where is that?
Sacramento.
That's North Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, North Carolina.
Yeah. I was just gonna throw out Davis to see if you guys knew.
What was life like growing up there?
I don't know. It was it was hard. It was hard. Yeah. I would count all the black people I would see and get excited when I got like my first biracial friend. I was like, we're best friends. So, but I mean, it's an okay place to raise a family, I guess, you know. But yeah, it's like it's liberal-ish, you know. But it's all right. It's all right.
I went to California for the first time in June.
Okay.
This June. It was
Yeah,
dope.
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, California itself, I love.
Yeah,
I
the
love.
weather is dope. It's super clean out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in Irvine.
Yeah, okay.
So I was in like South California.
Yeah. NorCal has its own vibe,
I
which
want to go out there.
Get a little bit of the
That's
California
super
vibe
fun.
from you a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, yeah.
What does that mean exactly?
Very laid
Like
back.
a
So the
laid back,
California-
cool,
Like I can
like
see you on the
relaxed.
beach. Like you look like a beach
Yeah.
person. You like the beach?
I love the beach.
I can
but
tell. You just seem like, oh, I love the beach.
Yeah, I do.
He's also empathic, so that's probably where he's getting it from.
Oh.
How did he know
Word.
that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, NorCal beaches is they're pretty cold. So, but yeah, California has everything. It has everything. You know, has mountains. It has the beach. It
That's
has
the one thing I did
valley.
like about Cali when I went. But I went to Rancho Cucamonga, like I said, but it was like
Oh,
a lot
okay.
of mountains.
Yeah,
And that's the one thing I did enjoy about it, just the mountains.
right.
I still can believe
Right.
that's a real place. by the
Too
way,
many
but
mountains, though.
really-
I was like making stories in my head. I was driving out, like, okay, behind there is just a bunch of people, hills have eyes,
Right.
people.
Oh,
Because a lot of the roads led to nowhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you
Scary.
recall your earliest memory, like having an interest in music?
Yeah. Well, I mean, actually, no, I can't because it's been forever. Because my mom was a piano teacher. and I'm the youngest of 5 kids. So like I grew up, like I mean, within being in the womb, listening to music. I like my first music. I grew up playing classical piano, but my dad always listened to Motown. My brother always listened to hip hop. My siblings always listened to R&B and like alternative. And like then I had like my angsty stage, listening to like hard rock and stuff like that. So I love it all. I love country too. I mean, there's different songs I do not like, but but I'm not opposed to all genres.
Who would you say is your like biggest musical influence? Like, who do you maybe identify with?
I mean, I'd say like my 3 biggest influences are Erykah Badu, Sade, and Jill Scott.
I love all 3 of them.
Yeah,
Those are very soulful.
Yeah.
Very soulful.
Yeah, but I mean, I love, like, I have a background in jazz, so, like, I love Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, Miles Davis, and, yeah.
What got you into jazz?
I mean, my grandparents used to listen to jazz a lot, and then also in college, like, I just started hanging out with the Jazz Cats.
Oh, nice.
And, like, so I started beatboxing, like, the end of high school, and then I, then went to college. I went for classical music. I got in for classical music, but then I realized I didn't want to practice classical music for like 7 hours a day.
Yeah.
So then I was just beatboxing, and I was doing all the things that like a regular music major would do, like beatboxing the vocal jazz group and with like the different jazz bands, and but like they didn't have a major for beatboxing. So yeah, but then I was performing outside of school a lot. So then I ended up just dropping out of school because I was like, well, my career's outside of school, or I'm learning all this stuff outside, so I don't want to waste money.
Exactly.
You know.
I feel like the wildly creative people just always have that one part of their story where it's the same. Like, I dropped out of school. School wasn't for me. Like what is it about school that's just like everyone's so resistant to it? I guess. Like,
I feel like when you're creative and
The structure bothers you.
bothers you, you're kind of restrained, especially with something like classical music. It's almost like, you have to do it a certain type of way. There is a proper and improper way, as opposed to beatboxing or hip hop. It's whatever you feel.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I love jazz, because even if you make a mistake, they say just play the same note over and over and pretend like it was on purpose. With classical, I mean, I don't think I've ever been as nervous as I used to be playing in recitals, because you had to get every note right.
Perfect.
And like I still love classical music, of course. It's an art. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But yeah, you kind of got to be perfect.
Yeah.
Not kind of. You got to be perfect.
You gotta be perfect.
Yeah.
what came first, singing or beatboxing?
Singing.
Singing, and how did you get into that? Would you take like chorus classes in school or
No.
church?
I mean, well, like, I would say, like, my stylistic influences are Erykah Badu, Sade, Jill Scott. But, like, I grew up listening to Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey. And, like, I wanted to sound like them, but, like, I didn't have a great voice when I was younger. Like, I knew musically, like, I could sing okay, but I knew I was never going to sing like them. I would sing in my closet because it had, like, this
acoustics in there?
Yeah. And I would do some talent shows, but like one of my cousins, I'm gonna give her a shout out, Alex. She just has like a God-given voice that she's been singing just like since she came out of the womb, And so I always thought that like that's just what people are just born to be able to sing, But I guess I just always wanted to be able to sing, so I just kept singing and kept practicing, and
Now you can sing.
Yeah.
I think that's
How long did it take to get that confidence for you to even say that?
because a lot of singers tell me that's where it starts. Like, you have to have the confidence to have that voice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still growing. I took one of my first, not first, but like my first vocal lesson in New York, like a few days ago. Shout out to Marlon.
Nice.
And I still feel I have so much to do, so much to grow. Yeah. But sorry, what was your question again?
Like defining like the confidence to even
Bless
like
you.
to even acknowledge or say confidently that you have like you can sing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still like, yeah, I'm still almost even like hesitant to be like that. But no, like I sing, you know. But I think it's been kind of a balance and kind of a journey between like I first started beatboxing at the end of high school. And I think through beatboxing that gave me more of the confidence to sing. Because singing was like, oh yeah, I can like kind of do this. I do this for fun. You know I can play different instruments, but like singing's okay. And then I started beatboxing and I was like, all right, I know I'm dope at beatboxing. Let me like switch gears and focus on singing again. So I got like my stage presence through beatboxing and through like getting that like command. And that's also like a play with my name, like with butter and scotch. I used to say smooth like butter, hard like scotch. And so butter was kind of like the silky, like smooth voice for singing that I had. And scotch was like the hard, like hip hop, beatboxing kind of rapping side. So.
Yeah, I like that.
And was making it a career always plan A, or was there a plan B and C just in case? And how do you present that to your family if that was
right?
The case?
I mean, my family has always been super supportive. My dad was my biggest fan. It's actually today it's been 5 years since he passed.
Oh wow, rest in peace.
So thank you. Yeah. But yeah, I mean he used to travel with me everywhere, and so they've I mean, you know, at times, you know, we've had our family crazy dynamics. I mean, what family doesn't? But overall, like, they believe in me. So
that's beautiful.
I think that's a huge part of the process.
Yeah.
And it probably just gives you that reassurance, because I know my family also supports me musically, and it makes me feel good, and it gives me I guess positive pressure, because you know people are looking at you like, you know, right. I believe in you, and it's kind of like, all right, I got to stick with this, I got to follow through.
Yeah.
Right.
And like this is perfect that you're here too, because like he's a rapper, so I feel like rappers kind of get like their skills, you know, freestyling and battling and stuff like that. But what do R&B singers really do to hone their craft and like kind of perfect it? Do you just walk around the house singing? Or?
Yeah, I mean, that's the I love living alone.
That's a great thing.
Because I'm a pretty private person. Like even growing up, like I'd be like, don't listen to me. Nobody listen to me. So yeah, I mean, just practicing, just as much as you can. And it's hard because, I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything, but like right now I'm pretty much doing everything. I've had management in the past, but, you know, each one hasn't really worked out, or they always end up using my connections. And I'm just like, well, why am I paying you if you're just going to use my connections? Ideally, I would like to find, like, an amazing team, you know, but, like, right now it's kind of build and they will come. So, like, I have someone who helps me with social media. And I miss them out here because I recently moved to New York. I mean, kind of ish.
Still got your foot in the sand out there.
Yeah. And so, yeah, he would go to different shows with me, and so sometimes if the budget allows, he'll come with me and capture content and stuff.
The budget. I wish I could say that. That's dope.
One day soon. We'll get there.
So I feel like singing, like, it starts as, like, melodies and then lyrics second. Is that correct, maybe? Like, harmonies and melodies first?
You know what? It's always different, I think. Sometimes, like, I'll get a melody and a lyric at the same time that like wakes me up at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn it, like why can't this come at like when I'm awake and when I need, you know, but then I'll just like grab my phone and record something into it, and then like later on then
voice notes are like the best thing ever.
But and then sometimes I'll just be like inspired and I'll just start making a beat, and then put something on top of that, or if someone has a dope beat that they'll send me, so there's multiple ways that I don't think it's ever really the same. Oh, well, I started, I used to be terrible at choruses. Like, I would just make everything, like, so intricate. And people would be like, yo, like, this is a hook. It's called a hook for a reason. You can't say, like, 20 million words in the hook. Like, all right. So then I just kind of started writing a bunch of choruses. Just like I just sat down and just like, all right, I'm just gonna write a chorus about this, chorus about that, and then once you get the chorus, then you can write everything around. And that's kind of how I wrote the EP. It came like the choruses came first, and then just kind of.
I feel like the best songs come out like that when like because I write as well. So like for me, when I come up with a chorus first, the verses just come with it, and I feel like the chorus is like the meat of the song, really, if you think about it. You know what I mean? Because it's just like without a good chorus, it's kind of not catchy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's dope.
Can you recall like maybe some of your early days first creating songs and how that process was?
Yo, I just want to interrupt because
shit.
I put tequila in here before. it's not now.
I was about to say,
I was about to say.
damn. She said she
You're
liked
our
clear
kind of
liquor.
guest, damn
God
it.
Damn.
No, and then I was like hustling to get over here, and I was like, I need water, and then like I had a little like that was left over from Pride, so I like poured it out, and I was like washing it. I was like, it'll be cool, and then I just took a sip, and I was like, oh, tequila water.
Nice.
Little flavor.
Sorry, so I was like, all right, sorry, what was your question?
Like, now I want some tequila. Damn. Like,
Yeah, right.
can you recall like your early days, like creating songs and what that process was like?
Yeah, I think the earliest, like I remember like the one thing that comes to mind right now was me writing this song to one of Beethoven's, like my favorite Beethoven symphony, and I just started writing like a chorus to like one of the like phrases in the song, and I just remember writing on a notebook, and it just like came to me right now. I'm sure like yeah. No, I used to write like poems and stuff.
I was about to ask this. Some of your songs come from early poetry you used to do or anything like that. Like, did it start out as poetry, then you were just like, you know what, I can turn this into a song.
Yeah. Now like you're like jogging my memory of like very embarrassing things. So like I had a crush on my history teacher in 8th grade, and then I shared like a book of poems with him. Like I gave it to him.
It was the book of poems. It was your poems?
Was like, yeah. It was.
If only if it was an English teacher you had a crush on, or make the teacher would be like, oh, okay, that'll work.
Right.
I'll help you with your
I
work.
know.
History was just
I
like,
had crushes on all my teachers, male and female, and crazy.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
I've always liked the substitute teachers more than actual teachers.
Oh yeah.
They were always
They were
fire.
more interesting for some reason.
Yeah.
The subs, right?
Yeah. Maybe because it was a fresh face.
I can't remember one teacher. I don't think I've ever had a crush on a teacher. And if I did, it was probably, I don't think so. Mr. Chow, maybe.
Shout out to
He
him.
was
for
like
that.
That's a funny
he was
name,
like
Mr. Chow.
my sophomore chemistry teacher. I think all the girls had a crush on him because he was like our first Asian. I have a thing for Asians sometimes because the men look like women, and it's just like some of them, they do. Like even the real cute, like they're real pretty. They have very feminine qualities, but not you, Mr. Chow, Chu, whatever your name was. But anyway, he was like the first Asian guy I guess we saw. I grew up in the hood. And he used to wear Jordans. He had a diamond earring in his ear. He was just like, and he related to us. He didn't like try to talk down on us. Like I remember him catching me kissing the boy. He just like Helena, because the boy was like, I think I was a junior. The boy could have been a sophomore or some shit, or maybe a freshman. He was just like, yo, Helena. I was just like, chill. Like,
Shout out to our teachers though. Like I feel
Yeah.
like there's something about like the way they just have. We have these memories of them, right? Like,
Right.
They may think we're not paying attention, but like we pay attention to
I
their
got
things.
memories of my teachers.
Yeah.
I definitely got Miss Pierre in my mind.
And Miss Shaw, she was like my favorite teacher.
I
I'm
remember-
not gonna blow up her spot though, but she was I think that was my favorite girl crush because I swore she was a lesbian, but she married this white guy with blue eyes, and I was just like, in 4th grade, like why?
We're gonna get some of your teachers on the podcast.
And she used to
next.
write me letters when I left to school.
Yeah.
Like she was a really good teacher. Like I still love you, girl.
So according to your Wikipedia page, in 2007 you were on America's Got Talent, was it?
Yes.
How did that come about?
So I had done a couple shows with this guy named Mike Patton, this group called Peeping Tom, which actually Rozelle used to be a part of, and then he couldn't make a couple shows, and then they asked me to step in. And then I think someone from NBC like heard about me through that event or whatever, and they reached out to me on MySpace, and I was kind of just like, what? Like I don't care about those shows, you know.
Yeah.
But then my dad was like, you should do it. And I was like, He's like, what's the worst that could happen? You know, like just try. So I was like, all right. So I went in for my first audition. Like it was like October 2006, and then didn't hear about it for like a few months, and then I was like out on tour, and then I was singing and beatboxing backup for that group, and then got a notice saying that we want you to come to the first live taping, and I was like, all right, let's do this, and then yeah, I just remember like the huge contract that we had to sign, and they said that there was going to be like hidden cameras and stuff. So I was like I'm already an introvert.
Well, this is on brand for you.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. But I was like, if they have hidden cameras and hidden microphones, I'm going to be silent. So I was like the one on the show who was just like, you know, in a shell and just like didn't talk. I mean, I talked to people and stuff, but like I heard that the interviews, like I used to be terrible at interviews. I mean, you might be the judge now. You're like, yeah, you still suck, but
Can't tell.
but
We're just
but,
nervous as far as being interviewed. You mean?
I just wasn't like.
Or you weren't
I mean,
open?
you put anyone who hasn't done an interview before in front of a microphone, they're just like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they would try to make me say things like, "This is the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life," and like all these other things. I mean, it was great. It was a great experience, but they would just like spoon feed you things to say, and I'd be like, "No,
You don't really feel like
no."
that. Yeah,
So they'd be like, "All right, John, what do we what do we do with her?" So
Let's just get some B-rolls.
yeah. Right. And then they had me like that I was like from the streets, like from New York, and like they had
Oh,
because
wow.
it was filmed at like Universal Studios and stuff. So they had like the mock New York town, you know. So
So they
put
gave
me
you a
there.
mock backstory as well.
So they
That's
had
nice.
me like listening to headphones, like on like a stoop, but it was.
That was
Oh my
cute.
God.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, all right, now I have
Fucked up,
some-
but cute.
So scripted.
We're exposing these shows
I know,
right
but
now.
it's like at
That's
least
hilarious.
they gave for the backdrop of the stoop and the headphones.
Right.
Like, I'll take that. If you want to display New York. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, I'm
That's
from
dope.
Davis, the whitest town in the world. But yeah, all right, I'll take it. So, but yeah, and then with each episode, like the first time I was on stage, I was like, oh shit, like this is gonna be seen in front of like millions and millions of people.
It's national exposure.
And so usually I was like very confident about things, especially if I was just beatboxing. I'm like, all right, I got this. But I was like, oh man, like. So then I started performing, and I thought that you would just perform until they would tell you to stop. I didn't know there was like a 60-second time limit. And so none of the judges wanted to press the buzzer and like to tell me to stop. So I just kept on going and going, and then finally like I see a producer like, you got it. Like, from the side. I was like, oh, time's up. I guess I gotta go. And then so then that first episode that I'm on, they edited like it was like a 2-minute performance, like 2 to 3 minute performance, and they edited it to like 30 seconds. So I did a ton of other things in there, but then they like edited it, so the timing is a little weird. But you'll see, like I'm like, time's up. I guess I'm done.
Oh,
wow.
What do you do to deal with your nervousness in that moment? Do you turn it to excitement? Do you ignore it, or what do you do?
Yeah, how do you calm yourself down?
And do you beat yourself up afterwards when it's all said and done? Like, do you go home and think about every little detail that happened? Like, I could have did this better. I should have did this better.
Right. Yeah, you know, I mean, that was like 12 years ago. So, like, I was a very different person back then. But I mean, I don't know. It was just with each show, I gained more confidence. But yeah, I mean, it was nerve-wracking. And then I think like my favorite one was when I sung My Funny Valentine at the piano, and it was dedicated to my grandparents. And after it, like like in that week before, I had been super sick. I had a fever, and so sometimes that helps when you're like sick because you're just like numb and you're just like whatever, man. You know?
You don't have time to be nervous.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
You're like, I
terrible.
just need to get well, get on stage, and perform.
Do this.
And then after, like, it was just like I get chills thinking about like the energy in that room when that happened. After I performed, and I just started crying. Like it was dedicated to my grandfather, who passed away, a few years before that, and just the stress of the show, the stress of life, and just everything. And then it's crazy because that was when Jerry Springer hosted, and he said because this was like the second to last show before people would vote for like the winner, and he said, "What would you do if you won this show?" And then I say, "I don't know what I'd do. You know, I'm just so thankful, something, something, something." But then they edit it, and they said, "How are you feeling right now?" And then I'm like, "I don't know what I'd do. I'm so good." And it like my answer didn't really make sense.
Oh my God.
Come on.
So corny.
But I guess they didn't want to like lead people into thinking that I was gonna win or something like that. But like I was confident at that point that I was gonna win. Like I was and yeah, so each episode, like I got more and more confident, and then I ended up losing to a singing ventriloquist, which is it's like cool. Sorry.
That's actually not cool. I'm mad right now. I wish I was if I was watching on that time, I would have voted like hard as hell.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm tight. I didn't know the end of the story, so I thought it was gonna end with you like
Right.
I don't know. So being that someone that's like introverted and like you know, you do music, was like being famous ever an idea in your mind? And being that you're introverted, like that doesn't really align, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. I think I always did. You know, I did this interview when I was like 5.
He was ready.
Yeah. But I forgot all about it when I had to do the real interview. But no, it was like this kids show that one of my friends' moms was like, everyone should be a part of. So I was like, all right, cool. And like I always wanted to be like the first woman in the NBA. And like I loved basketball. I loved soccer. And
She
yeah,
said, "Fuck the WNBA."
well, this was before the WNBA, so there was no like women's league except like the ABL or whatever. So I was like, I want to be in the NBA. So I was like set on that from like when I was like 3 to like 15. And so I do this kids interview, and they're like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I was like, "A famous singer." And then I get out, and I'm like, what?
Like, who said that? Yeah, where did that come from?
Right.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And that's when I was like kicking myself in the head when I'm like 5, and I'm like, you know.
I said a basketball player before I got here. I don't know what happened when the cameras turned on.
Right.
Subconscious.
Exactly.
Like,
I was about to
girl.
say subconscious. Yeah.
Freudian slip.
Right. So yeah, I guess somehow I always knew. And then I still kept playing sports, but then when I was 15, I had a knee injury, and I tore my meniscus, so it wasn't as bad as an ACL. And I probably could have, you know, gotten back, done a bunch of rehab, and would have been fine. But like, I think my hardest years were probably like when I was like 14, 15. I mean, those are tough years, of course, but I was like in a super deep depression. And I didn't get back into it. And I look back because I'm just like, I love basketball, you know, and I love soccer. So like, and I actually just did a spoken word piece about the U.S. women's team that this whole week I've been like preparing and like memorizing stuff, and yeah, just put it out. But what was my point?
Tequila water got you?
I'm really trying to read your mind and get that point for you, but
right. But
You
yeah,
always love basketball.
Right.
Admire women's sports.
Yes. But yeah, but
You always knew you'd be.
yeah, oh no, so that's why like I'm so into like I feel like there's several different roads that I could have taken.
yeah.
So like with the US women's team winning the World Cup, like I'm like I don't really have an NBA team. Like I grew up in Sacramento, so like the Kings. They had their chants, and they've gone through like more coaches and like crazy.
You happy you're not a Knicks fan though, because it's bad. It's
I
depressing.
feel
man.
bad for y'all.
Yeah.
He wasn't ever a Jersey Net fan?
No,
I was when Jason Kidd and Vince Carter was on
I
there.
was say like,
not like ride or
Richard
die.
Jefferson.
but you're from
Like I've died many
Oh,
times
I
being a
forget.
Knicks fan. Like
You're from
I'm
Jersey.
dead right now. Like you're
We don't
talking to
know
I
where
was
Jeff
mad
is
when
from.
Jay-Z took him away from us. I mean, I was pissed, and Jay-Z's my favorite rapper. I was like, why would you do that to me?
Felt personal. Damn it.
Fuck Mr.
Fuck
Carter.
you, Jersey.
But it's like this whole introvert thing is like so weird, like the introvert and like fame thing.
Yeah.
Would you rather your music just be on the forefront and like you as a person, your personality be on the backdrop, or would you rather it hand in hand?
I think hand in hand. I think, you know, there's definitely an amount of like people that I can take at once for sure. But but I but I feel like after I get off stage, like after I perform, like I feel so, or when I perform, but after I perform, I feel so high because people are like, how can you like interact with everyone and like hug people and like da 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 da, and it's just like, it's like being like on ecstasy, like no joke. It's the same chemicals that are you know being released in your head.
Dopamine.
So it's like, I don't know. But then after that wears off, I'm like, all right, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah. Back to my shell.
Horrible.
My mom's listening. I have no
Must
experience
be
with
a
ecstasy.
sign.
It's just, she just mentioned ecstasy. I have no experience with it. It's not related to me in any way.
I just don't
I'm mad
believe
he's
it.
sitting here talking
Yeah.
about he ain't got experience with ecstasy, but like 5 episodes ago.
Wait, what are you saying? What are you saying right now? Yo.
PCP.
LSD.
Oh, yeah, LSD, yeah.
Oh God.
God.
Oh wait, there is.
Next question. Next question.
Moving on.
Performing.
Mom must have said, "Don't you ever talk about that shit again."
Sorry.
Performing. What is that like? Like just being on a stage in front of people who are fans of you and not fans of you. Like, is that a different experience, a different world?
Wait, what?
Being,
I'm sorry.
Being like, because sometimes I feel like people go to shows sometimes just like they don't know the artist on the bill, but they'll show up just for the entertainment aspect. So you make people.
Crazy. Who is spending? Okay,
People
I'm not spending no money to see somebody I don't know.
as like an experience, as like a.
Hell no. Like,
You're missing out. You're missing
And
out.
I don't even mean like
That's
say,
real.
this is me. Like if it's an artist I love, and then they happen to have 3 other artists who are going to be there, I'm going to experience it, and enjoy it. Because I feel like if my artist picked those 3 artists,
There's a
they
reason.
may be they have to be dope.
But let me present this idea that happens probably all the time. Couples. So I may go to a show with a girl who doesn't know the artist
Girls.
performing. Like, what is that experience like?
Yeah, I mean it's my favorite thing to do. There's always the the pre-show like
Jitters.
yeah. I mean I call it I'm excited. It's adrenaline.
Do you picture everybody naked, or you just go out there and sing your song and sing your heart out?
Yeah, I try to just like lead with my heart.
Do you take a
Like
shot of
as-
tequila beforehand? Sometimes it helps. From what I hear.
Yeah, no, I don't drink before shows. When I was in college, I would like always smoke before shows until someone was like, I was like about to perform or something, and they're like, oh, like aren't you gonna da 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 da? And then someone's like, oh no, she's only good if she smokes, and I was like,
What?
You don't
yeah,
know me.
yeah,
You don't know me.
yeah.
I don't need to smoke.
But yeah, I just try to, I don't know, just have, I mean, yeah, as I said, like lead with my heart and know that this is what I love to do. And, and just like music. Well, the best thing that I ever heard was from, Natalie of Flowetry, or the Flow Assist. And she said, I was just on a cruise with her like a few months ago. And her show was just like one of the best shows I've ever seen. Like Earth, Wind, and Fire, Erykah Badu, like the Flow Assist.
I'm jealous.
No, like it was, I was crying. Like
Wow.
yeah. Like I
love
don't,
her.
yeah.
And I was just listening to Flowetry the other day. So.
Yeah,
Same.
it was incredible. But she said, I'm in the healing business, not the music business. Yeah.
Good distinction.
And,
Yeah.
that's
So-
what that's
love that.
powerful.
Right.
Because I listen to music to be healed. Like I
Right.
swear, I woke up at 3:00 this morning just having a whole time, and I'm just like, wait a minute, there's music.
Yeah.
And I think from 3 to 10 a.m. I was just like in the zone, just
Right.
fine.
Yeah, and so that's what my new EP is about. Is just like about vibes, just good vibes. Like the first song is about money, and just like putting a positive spin on it, and because we always talk about like how money is the root of all evil, and like what all these rich people are doing,
That's
and da 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 da. And so it's kind of like gets into that and just having fun with it, and then just kind of everybody has a purpose.
My personal favorite is track 2, I'm Okay.
I'm okay. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
that feels good and
Oh,
sounds good.
Cool. Thank you.
Can you recall like your process making these 3 songs and what was that like?
Yeah. So I mean, the first song, I actually I did a Forbes event like back in October, and I was doing a recap video, and I just was making an instrumental for that, and I was like, it just needs to feel good, and I was like, it's Forbes about making money, and then but then I was like, oh, this sounds kind of dope. So then when I was traveling, I just started writing to it, and I was just like, man, and it, like the first, like they say, money don't make you happy, but it sure do help. You know? So that's the first line, and then it kind of goes into it. But then I'm okay is kind of like in contrast with it, because it's like, all right, well, like I have almost everything I need, but like I don't have love, you know, and I'm still battling with my demons and with a bunch of things that I'm going through. But then, you know, towards the end of the song, just kind of like building myself back up, that like everything I go through is a process, and I'm learning and I'm making myself better. And I don't have to like completely, you know, love myself all the time, but just be grateful for what I have. And then Made It is just kind of like a playful song that's just like me saying exactly what I want to see in my life.
I could tell you believe in law of attraction.
Yeah.
Like you know, you think of it and you know you'll manifest it.
Yeah, I mean, there's been so many things where like so many synchronicities, where it just like I'll think about something or someone, you know, and they'll call me, or like I'll find something, and so I'm trying to like direct that energy into, you know, like exactly what I want. You know? But yeah, just you know, I was at this event like a few weeks ago, and it was actually about lucid dreaming. And like how we can
just a quick PSA for everybody, you know, who's everybody into manifestations and rituals. Tread softly this week, because this week is still an eclipse week.
Yes.
So you don't want to do too much in an eclipse week, because you don't know what the outcome will actually be. Because what you may want, it can come to you full force in a different way, in the negative way, not in the positive way. So just everybody, just wait till Friday.
Right. Yeah. This week I've definitely.
And then you could do your thing. But today, you know, wait. Tomorrow is a better day. Like by the time you hear this, you're in the clear. But just, you know,
I've been getting beat up all month. Like, when will it stop?
It's okay.
It will stop when
When will it stop?
It will stop when you see the lessons. Because a lot of this shit is just repeated shit that you need to. We'll talk later.
You're such a Virgo, because that's something my girl says all the time. It's like the lessons are going to keep appearing until you learn them.
Until you fucking figure it out.
address it in.
Yes.
Damn,
We'll talk later. How do you know when like a song/project is done? Is it a feeling, or is it like outside opinions, or how do you know when something's done?
I mean, like I haven't put out a ton of stuff. I have like 3 EPs that I put out like a few years ago.
Scotch tapes.
Yeah.
Downloading it as we speak.
And yeah, that one like I sat on for a while, and I mean that was a different issue with some team folks that I had back then. Yeah, because I wanted to put it out and go indie, but people wanted to. But so like I was ready to like get it out, but then my voice was
Drink your water.
But with this project, the last one, because there's definitely an evolution, and you know, there's gonna be more, of course. But with this one, it was just I had kind of a time limit of when I wanted it to be done. And then, with this project, I worked on it with Jamie Siegel, this guy named Jamie Siegel, who's he engineered for with Lauryn Hill, with Whitney Houston. Like I don't really need to say more, but like he just has a good feeling. You know, he's a producer and a sound engineer. So it was really good, like working with him, and just like I don't know. And also just trust is just such an important factor of, you know, I don't think I've ever like recorded a project without, you know, crying in the studio about something, because it's real. It's real.
That's good, because that gets relayed in your music.
Yeah. You feel that emotion.
You know, you feel that.
Songs.
My question was going to be, when you start to write a song, where do you draw your inspiration from? Is it usually a sad place, a happy place, or do you have to sit back and do drugs or be in an intoxicated state or an inebriated state just to get your creative juices flowing? I know people who feel like they can't do certain things unless they're high or they're this and they're that. And I'm just like, if you're creative, it's just going to come out. I feel like I get most creative when I'm not high.
Yeah.
Same.
And then the minute I get high, I'm like, oh, what the fuck? I had a whole shit going on just now. I just lost it all. So it's just like, what is your process? Like, how do you start the process of writing a song? Or do you have to be in your feels to start feeling like you want to write a song?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. Because this last project was just kind of like, I just want to make something that feels good. And that's not, because my whole life I've written love songs, which is great. I mean, the whole world.
Sade did it.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Yeah. No, it's all good. And then I have another project, a full-length album that's going to come out, like, probably within the fall, that I'm working with Blackalicious. Do you guys know? I'm trying to think, like, Naima, like the alphabet. There's like this really dope alphabet song. Okay, anyway,
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So I'm working with the producer Chief XL, and when we first started writing, we just talked about our favorite albums, and like our top one was like Mama's Gun. And so it's kind of like he's like, I want this to be your mama's gun. So it's
For
gonna
people
be
like me, whose mama's gonna buy?
Erykah Badu, but like I like Baduism. Like that's like my favorite. Like that's what I grew up on. Personally.
Yeah, but so before we started that project, we kind of had like a vibe in mind. And at the time, I was with my girlfriend, and so I was like writing songs about how we met, and da 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 da. And then I broke up with her, and then then I was writing songs about like heartbreak, like kind of.
How you break up with her and you're writing songs about heartbreak? The nerve of you.
What?
I said, how you break up with her and you're writing songs about heartbreak?
It takes two. It sucks. It sucks on both sides. Anyway.
Said the divorcee.
I was faithful. I was very faithful. And so yeah, so it kind of has like a natural arc of going through a relationship and breaking up and then getting back to yourself. That's that project. So yeah, I mean, some songs it's just I'm saying something like I have a song that's called I wrote a song when I'm very sensitive to caffeine and like even chocolate. Like if I take a small bite of chocolate, like right now, if I ate chocolate, I would be up until like 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Wow.
So I wrote this song called Chocolate High when I was just like high on just chocolate, just cacao, just chocolate.
Wow.
What kind of life you lived?
Like hard drugs
chocolate.
would kill me. Hard drugs would kill me.
Oh
So
my
I
God.
I'm like.
Do you feel like going forward, you like will have to maybe reinvent yourself? Is there any pressure coming with that? Because like sometimes I feel certain artists have to like keep up with the times and go with the trendy. Like, do you feel that pressure at all?
I mean,
transformation happens naturally.
I think I'm trying to like, I'm just kind of molding or melding like two worlds of just like I come from like a jazz background. And so, yeah, with this last EP, it's it's more current, it's more like today. Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, I definitely want to have stuff that people can vibe with now. Right. But I never want to lose me. But I think I'm able to still keep that with my voice and my energy.
Yeah, your voice is definitely super unique. Like I couldn't compare it to anything else. It was you. Like I mean. I saw went through your Instagram and I got a sense of your character, and then I heard the music. I was like, oh yeah, that's her.
Oh, cool.
And
I actually can't wait to listen to your music because I like meeting the artist first before I listen to it because that motivates me to listen to your music if I meet you first.
So this show was created basically from my own depression. Like podcasts were my escape from depression, so I wanted to in turn create my own podcast to be the same escape for other people.
Right.
So is music your main source of escape from depression? And if not, what are your other advices to get rid of that?
Right. Yeah, I mean, music definitely. And just I feel like I go through these periods, like if I'm not creative, then like I'll go through a certain like a situation in life, or like I crush very easily. Like I will like someone and I will like go hard.
I ain't afraid, but I crush a lot.
Sounds very familiar.
What?
Sounds very familiar.
But then-
I know, right?
To who?
The one who just answered.
Oh,
I'm not a player.
No, you're.
But you crush a
crush
lot.
I crush on
Yeah.
everybody, but my crushes are healthy. Nothing happens with my crushes. There's just a crush. It's the innocent
Right,
crush.
right.
I like you from a distance.
You don't have to explain. All I said was that you crush a lot.
But I gotta explain to the people. And then in a week or two, I'd be like, I don't like that person.
Right,
no
no,
more.
exactly,
It's just
exactly.
like,
All right, yeah, you get me. Yeah. So, but like in that period, I'm like, oh shit, like what do I do? What I do? Da, 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 da. And then I'm like, hello, like write a song.
Channel that energy.
yeah, and I'm like, okay, now I know. But sometimes I forget. I'm like, all right, come on, what are you here for? So,
I drink it.
Is the writing process or the actual like manifesting the song process more of a healing and like escape from depression? Like which one is more of beneficial to you to get you into a better space?
wait, sorry, the writing or the
The writing and the creation of the song, or the actual like
Singing a song in the
singing
studio.
in the studio,
Oh.
like.
Oh, I mean, I think writing it and then just like listening to it when it's done and you're like, I did that. Yeah. Yeah, like even a couple days ago I wasn't feeling the greatest, and then I put on like Have It All, and I was just like I'm listening to my own song right now and I'm like feeling really good. And that's not to like my shit is dope, you know.
But her shit is
okay.
dope.
But it's dope.
super dope.
but like it, I was like, man, like I'm at a place where I'm like listening to my stuff and it makes me feel good. So if I can do this for me, then other people must be liking it too, I hope. So that was a good place to be. But I mean, yes, because sometimes in the studio sessions can be kind of brutal. Because I'm a perfectionist, and so I'll do like 20 million takes, you know. But then like it'll be like the first one that was the best. So it's good to have like I do some stuff, like I record some stuff at my place. But then it's good to, you know, go in the studio and have someone just like put a time limit on me, like that was fine, like keep going, you're good, you know, because otherwise like I'll just keep,
You don't feel
keep doing
limited
stuff.
when you have that? When you have like a time limit, I guess? You don't feel like under pressure?
Well, it's not necessarily like a time limit. It's more just someone who's kind of like
Monitoring.
Moving you along a little bit.
Yeah, like you don't need to.
Spend too much time
Yeah,
on this.
right,
Gotcha.
exactly. Yeah.
What is like your goal with music? Is it to like help heal the people, heal the planet, and affect people's consciousness? Is it to get a Grammy? Is it just to put it out to prove to yourself that you can do it? Like, what is like your main goal with
Is it
music?
therapy or is it just
Right.
pure
Therapy,
entertainment?
Yeah.
We are the children.
I'm sure you want.
One question at a time, people.
I'm sorry we're going in.
Goodness gracious.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's everything. It's everything, because it's like it's a multi-dimensional career where
I like that.
I like that. I
I
like
like
that.
that. Oh, I feel that.
That chills.
Ooh. Oh, use
She gonna be like, what
I
you
have to write that one down.
that.
But like, would you want to be like get a Grammy one day? Is that like a goal of yours?
Of course.
At least she's honest about it. Like the purpose of what you're doing is to be acknowledged in some way for people and to help people in a sense. Yeah.
I mean, I do, you know, sometimes like brushing my ego, of course, and I want to be real
gotta
about
pet
that.
the ego.
Yeah.
Pet the ego.
Yes.
Why does that sound weird? Like a little bit.
Shut
Into
up.
your perverted little minds.
I don't
You know, you got to pet it, but sometimes you got to put it in its place too. So you know.
I'm trying.
Yeah. But yeah, no, of course. Like I love when I go on different tours or you know, different places. I love to go to schools, and sometimes I mean I'll get there. Like I did this high school in Jersey. I can't remember what part, but it was like this all packaged kind of thing where I performed at the college, and then I went to the high school, and then like talked to like the LGBT group, and like so it was all like kind of like
That's
inclusive
so cool.
thing. And so they told me because I've done I've done like different auditoriums like at high schools and stuff, but they told me I was going to talk to a music class. So I was like, cool. I had like little pamphlets on like how to beatbox and everything. I was like, yes, all right, class, let's do it. But then they took me to the auditorium. They're like, yeah, we're not sure like how many classes are going to show up. So I was expecting like 30 people. And then like the whole thing starts filling up because I was just like sitting on the ledge of the stage, just like, all right, class, you know, like getting ready. And then I start seeing like everyone piling in, and I'm like, if I knew it was gonna be everyone, like I would have waited backstage because then I'm just like, all right, and it's like like 10 minutes I'm just sitting on stage and like your eyebrow.
They're all analyzing you.
Kids are so I swear they're too open on it sometimes.
And so
No filter.
And so I'm just like, I gotta like stay in me, stay strong, because like these high school kids will tear me apart if I don't. So I'm just like, what's good?
You gotta be hip, but you still gotta be professional.
Right. And like I didn't bring all my equipment because I thought I was just gonna be beatboxing. So I was like, oh man, like if I knew it was gonna be this many people, like I would have like given a show or something. But then it ended up being like one of my favorite performances ever, because it was just like off the cusp, and it was one of those days where I was just on. And yeah, it was incredible. Actually, I should post some of that footage, because there was one point where I went into a song. I made up a song, and I do live looping, so I made it up just right there. And then there was some girl in the back who just stood up and had her phone like this. And then, like, it started catching on.
Oh, wow.
Back in the day, you used to do lighters,
and then
but now it's cell phones.
The guy in the back, you know, who was running lights and everything. Like, it was just a school show. He would, like, you know, put the fader on. And then, like, the whole school was just like...
That's so cool.
It was so dope. Yeah, I gotta put that out, because it was one of my favorite moments. Because it was so, like... It was just so, like...
Genuine.
Yeah. It's incredible.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Is Scotch like an alter ego, or is it just you as a whole?
You know, that's interesting. That's an interesting question. Because I feel like I'm now kind of molding into one. Because my birth name, which I used to like not tell anyone, because I was like, it's a secret, nobody knows.
What is it?
Now I'm dying to
now.
Edge of my seat.
Yeah. No, but now I don't really care. Antoinette.
Beautiful name.
I saw that on the Wikipedia page. I didn't want to. Honestly, I didn't want to say it and be wrong, because in case the Wikipedia is wrong. But
that is a pretty name.
Thank you. Thank you.
Antoinette.
Yeah.
It fits you.
So I grew up, as Antoinette, and then kind of, you know, created Butterscotch, or like, you know, people started calling me that, and then I was just like, all right, well, I'm Butterscotch. So I created that to kind of like protect Antoinette and to like be Butterscotch and be whatever I want to be. But then, like it was a couple years ago where people would be like, well, what's your name? That are like, I was somewhere, and I had this kind of like, I don't know who I am, because it'd be like, I would go out and be like, people, you know, I would try to introduce myself to someone, and I'd be like, I didn't know if I should say Antoinette or Butterscotch, because like, it was this weird thing, because I'm like, oh, well, if I'm like around music people, then Butterscotch, but if I'm just like or meeting new friends, like Antoinette. And so then like a few people have called me Scotch like over the years, and then it just kind of like slowly crept in even more.
Nobody thought about Tony?
Tony, yeah, I had so many nicknames. I had Anto, Tony, Antoine, Wonton, Fortune Cookie.
Okay.
No, it's like
is perfect.
Yeah.
What about Tony Scotch?
Tony Scotch. Tony Scotch.
Sounds like a gangster name.
Wonton, but Tony Scotch.
Yeah, Tony Scotch.
But you're gonna punch somebody.
That's gonna be her rap debut.
Yeah, well, there's been Tony Tigre, there's been Johnny Yogurt, there's been yeah.
I wish I had this makes me wish I had a cool nickname. Like,
You do have a cool nickname.
The Petty
but
Podcast.
I gave it to myself. No one
It's
else.
okay.
It's all right.
We told you it's okay. It's
We-
still
we-
legitimate.
Let it go.
I like that. Okay, you want me to give you a nickname?
Not now.
Okay.
Because I
I
feel like
don't
you're
want no
gonna.
goddamn
Because I feel like
nickname.
it's gonna be bad and
It
offensive.
is.
Yeah, I don't want
You
to
got
hear
two
it.
nicknames. Everybody in here has a porno name, and then they have their regular stage name.
That's right.
Nicknames are big on this show for some reason. I don't know how they got here.
I didn't give myself my nickname though.
But you got it. You got to get it tatted next.
Oh my
Rainy
God,
Laney.
this one giving directions over here.
Actually, I'm about to get a whole leg tattoo very soon. I'm about to be a guinea pig for Kenny. He's a great tattoo artist, but it was just like
Okay, cool. It's like, no, but I don't know him, so you can't be shouting random people we don't know.
Oh my god.
I don't know him.
the petty
Podcaster
podcaster.
strikes
I
again.
don't know him. No, this is our platform. You gotta use it wisely. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Plus, we have a
okay.
guest.
Our platform.
It's ours. I'm
Use it
sharing.
wisely.
I'm gonna sip my drink.
Oh my god, we'll talk about this later. Do you feel like you're in competition with other artists, or do you just go with the flow and not acknowledge anyone else? Creativity?
I mean, yeah, that's a rough thing because, especially nowadays, because it's so easy to compare yourself to other people. So I try to, especially like if it's like people from your hometown or people who you grew up with or da 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 da. It's hard. It's hard to not compare yourself. But I try to be like everyone has their own journey, their own path.
That's the best way to look at it.
Yes.
Yeah, if I didn't go through these things, and it's also some of the most successful people in the world, like Anthony Bourdain and Kate Spade, and they had everything, they made everything, they were highly successful people, but they weren't happy. So I try to just cherish the times that I'm with friends or that I'm like with my family or like just like holding a baby or like petting a dog, like
The
cause
simple thing.
yeah. And it's cliche, but that's all we have,
I think that sense of gratitude is what will keep you grounded through your journey
Yeah.
and through this whole experience, because no matter what's given or taken away from you, you'll
Yeah.
still be able to find happiness.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, feel
CR back from DR said it just right.
But I feel like I'm about to ask you that question because you're a
What?
rapper. Because rapping hip hop is more like aggressive and more competitive. R&B is kind
Well-
of accepting of each other. I feel.
Yeah. I mean, I came from like the beatbox battle,
Yeah.
underground scene. So, it was all about competition. But and also, playing sports, like I always wanted to be number one. I usually was number one, but that's a different story. But
When is your birthday? You're so like you have this air quality about yourself.
Here comes the sign talk.
Word.
No.
Libra.
Sign segment.
Did I say air? Did I
did
not
say
say she has
air.
air
You did
quality?
say
You're a
air.
Libra?
Yeah.
He's a
Oh,
Libra.
now he.
Now, see, now
You
it
were
makes
being
sense.
dismissive
Now
a
he
second
had
ago.
Now he had
You
no
done got him
class
started.
now, so
No, I
nobody
don't-
cares.
You got him started,
Nobody
Scott.
cares.
You got him
I
started.
don't
Nobody
meet
cares,
too many
nobody
Libras.
cares.
I don't meet too.
We had Matt Libras on the show so far
Yeah.
by
Really?
coincidence. So yeah.
October or September? Or-
September.
Oh,
Look, he's less
He said,
excited.
September
He's
what?
less excited.
September what?
29.
Okay, no, she's all Libra though. 29. She all
yeah.
Libra.
We out here, yo.
She all Libra.
But what you got to say? You got something?
Virgo's not taking her. She all Libra.
Yeah.
September
you know what's up.
29th.
You know what the Libras be about?
Lies
here
and
we
lies and lies and deception.
Hey,
But the sex game is great, right? Hey.
hey. Perception
I don't
is
know.
everything. You know what I mean?
Shaking my head.
Is the current climate of the country, because this shit is so fucked up right now.
Dun, dun.
Does that affect your creativity in any way? Does it like really stop you from being able to create a song or record a song that they or perform? Like, how does the current climate of this country affect you? Yourself?
Oh man.
Not to get too political,
Yeah.
but
Oh, I mean,
Because right now, it's so
we
much
have
going
to.
on.
Yeah. It's a head scratcher.
Where's, okay, before you started, like, are you in New York? Can you vote for New York?
I can't.
Oh.
I know. And I got to figure out healthcare here as well because I still have it in California. But that's a different topic.
Every time you get sick, just fly
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Right. might be
yeah.
worth it. Yeah.
Maybe worth it, yeah. Don't get stuck up here if you're fucked up.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it definitely influences me for the better or the worse. I try not to watch too much news. I try to, dip in and dip out, so at least like I'm aware of what's going on, but I don't want it to consume me, because it's just
It's beyond frustrating.
It's way too much every day.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But I mean, it's so. I mean, it's incredibly inspiring, with AOC and all the stuff that she's done, and finally got a chance to watch that documentary too, Knocking Down the House, which was
I gotta watch
incredible. Yeah, because I mean, because I was on the West Coast and like I knew about her, but like just how just incredible that whole movement that she started was just dope. Yeah.
So do you like tune out when you see something? Like, do you like tune out from creating when you see like a certain headline or a certain news cycle going around, or do you try to fight through it and create through it?
I think I create through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like I just, or if I have shows where things are happening, I kind of always try to address what's going on, or, I don't know. Yeah, like improvising is my thing. Like if something does go wrong, then I'm good at like getting my way out of it, or just making it a thing, or just, kind of breaking that fourth wall too. Like if something happens like in the audience or whatever, like just addressing everything so that it's not super conscious, but it's that like I'm a real person, and that like I have real situations, and like we're all in this together,
Right.
So
I feel all of us at this table, like we're all super creative. We all do different things, like, but we all have moments of like slumps, like creative slumps. Like, do you get those like often or ever, and how do you fight past those? Because I feel like there's like I'm a writer. I'm writing a book.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of just got into it again after like 6 months.
Yeah.
Of like not being motivated.
right.
And it feels good to be back, but
Right.
like it was hard to get through. So I
Yeah.
was curious if you get those moments as well.
I think the hardest thing is when I'm traveling, and like I haven't lived in the same place for the past 10 years. Like every year I move. And but I'm really trying to stay here for a bit. And so it's like when I'm on the road, it's hard to get any kind of routine. And just trying to learn how I can take that on the road, so I can still stay sane. And still be able to create in some way, so that like I don't go crazy not being able to do what I want to do. Because like this past year I've been able to take off quite a bit of time, and that's like when I'm doing my best work, because like it's kind of different because I've kind of done all the back end work. Like I've toured the world, like I've done a lot of stuff with no album, with nothing. When usually it's like you got to have an album, you got to have a product to push that to go around the world.
Yeah.
But like I come from, the era before YouTube and all that stuff. So it's like I'm trying to now turn it back around. Like, okay, well I have all this experience, and now I just got to sit down and take the time to create more content. And so that's the hardest thing to do, is you just like lay out enough time. To just do it.
It's funny that you say that, because I've been like trying to wrap my mind around how are people able to create so much content back to back to back to back to back, and I'm just like, my mind works that fast, but it's also a process. Like maybe I'm too much of a perfectionist. I can't just write something one day and put it out the next day.
Yeah.
Like I'll write it on a Tuesday, edit it on Thursday, edit it the week after that, again and again and again, until my heart is content. And I'm just like, okay, I can put it out.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm trying to, to get over. And I just, I did this. Yeah, I don't know if I said before, but like this spoken word piece about the U.S. women's team. And so I just wrote it like on Saturday, and then like memorized it as much as I could. And then like filmed it a couple days ago, and then just put it out today. And so that's kind of like the fastest. I've maybe done that a couple times before, but it's just like, all right, like if I have a deadline, if I make like a hard deadline for myself, I can do anything, Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, why don't I do this all the time? And maybe not like this one was stressful because I'm like, well, the World Cup was like almost a couple weeks ago. Like I gotta get it out now. But like if I can apply this, maybe just take it a step back, like in terms of the stress level, then I can really produce a lot of stuff.
I feel like those YouTubers they don't have any stress levels. It's just like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna put this out and put it out. They have no fear, but they are like 20.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I have fear every time we put out a new episode of a podcast. Like, we do it once a week, and it's just like, how will people receive this? How will people receive our performance? How will people receive our guests?
Okay, so you say you have fear. I don't want to quote what you have as fear, maybe a little anxiety before you put something out.
Yeah.
But true fear, you won't put anything out.
Almost didn't put out this episode's going out tomorrow.
But that's a whole different reason
It's
why.
different, but it's like,
Yeah.
you know, but
So, and just because we're just different, you know, we keep it up here where they go, what did Michelle Obama say?
When they go low,
you go high.
I'm just high.
I've battled with that too, though, like being hesitant to put out stuff. But what I did was realize that I had to be okay with criticism,
Yeah.
because
I'm not okay with criticism.
and that's the hard part about
Especially
it.
if you're not doing the same thing as me. Don't tell me.
Right.
And that's
What I'm
the
doing
and
is
let me
wrong.
tell you,
That's-
that's the
that's-
hardest
yeah.
pill to swallow, because there's so many
Yeah.
people who've never done it.
Right.
They will tell you how to do it, and
But
that's the
it's-
hardest pill to
I
swallow.
feel like
but
it's
you
really
gotta do
hard
it.
to critique creativity.
Some
you-
people would say that, but they all
You
have their
can't
own
really
rule of
I
measurement.
can't really critique. So, okay, maybe you're right, because I'm not gonna lie. I will be talking the utmost shit about songwriters. I'm sorry, I am that
You're
person.
very opinionated when it comes to music.
I talk-
When it comes to music and when it comes to from the production to the lyrics to everything, I am just like, I have an ear. I always know who's about to pop off next. I will say this again. I knew the City Girls was going to pop off 2 years before they popped off. I was like, these little ratchet bitches is about to make every little ratchet bitch feel validated.
And
I
being
love
an
y'all.
artist, you have to be okay with people who don't do music telling you about your music. You have to be okay. Like,
Fam.
it's hard.
You don't want the feedback, but at the same time, you don't
it's
want.
just like
Yeah.
you kind of know. I feel like I know when a song's about to just pop. Like you just that song. Even the person who does the song, they know when it's about to pop.
Yeah.
Fam, I was
Like when you're
telling
in the studio, you doing it. You just like, yo,
This is the
about
one.
This
Yo,
is the
shit.
one.
This is the one.
I was telling J. Cole to do what he's doing now.
Shut
years
up.
ago.
up.
Like,
Shut up. Like
he
we have
finally
shut up.
heard me.
Shut
What
up.
did,
Did
no,
mad
shut up.
features.
Stop
No.
it.
He
What,
did
okay,
Avengers
what J.
Features
Cole did
Strike
not
that from
do,
the record,
okay,
please,
for
'cause
real.
that is not
what J.
true.
Cole did was not
What?
features. He did not do features. Okay?
Talking about the Dreamville album?
That's
no,
not a
21
feature.
Savage featuring J. Cole.
But he's always been doing features. He's been doing features since he first started.
I
that's
like that.
But those are singles, right?
No.
Wasn't that
Thank
song
you.
with-
Like he worked
No,
with
it was on the
Miguel.
album.
No. What a lot?
A lot was on the album.
Who's on whose album?
21 Savage album.
Okay, thank you.
Not
That's
J.
21.
Cole's album.
But not J. Cole's album.
No,
J.
but I
but
wanted
J.
him
Cole
to be
has
less
okay.
introverted and work with more people. That's all I wanted from him.
J.
Work
Cole
with different
Can't get
producers.
it.
the glasses
has been
off, y'all.
doing features since the start of his career. Let's not start that. Now, Dreamville is not a feature album. What he did was he took every artist that he can think of and gave everybody a platform
Yes.
to be heard, like a fucking international boys club.
But he didn't produce any beats on this project. That's all I wanted from him was to be on beats that he didn't produce, that he didn't create from the ground up.
Jeff.
And he didn't what? This is the fact. He said it in
I
the
give you
documentary.
that. I give you that.
That was the first thing he said in the
I give
documentary.
you that
of
because that's the one
this
thing I wanted from
project.
J. Cole too. But it's not like he worked for people I wanted him to work with too. So it was just like I gotta take what I can get too.
By the way, the best song in that project is the song that's talking about. They're talking about Rob and J. Cole,
Lambo Truck.
and Lambo Truck, and fucking Top Dog. But that's a different story. We'll talk about this afterwards because I have more to say to you. I'm not done with you.
Oh, here we go.
I'm done with you when it
You
comes
have
to
a
J. Cole.
you have a relatively large social media following. You have fans across the world. Do you get their do you notice their criticism ever, and how do you deal with that if you do notice it?
Yeah. I mean, I think that stopped me for a while from putting more stuff on YouTube because when YouTube first was a thing, then that's when you saw, and that was kind of like my rise at the time because that was like 2007, 2008.
Yeah,
So
YouTube was different back then.
Yeah, so that's when I was on America's Got Talent, and I would see certain things, and I'd be like, oh man, well, like my stuff really has to be like super, super, super perfect before I like put it out. And so like, it's definitely been a journey. And there's been a couple years, like where I question if this is what I would want to do.
Yeah.
Because like everyone's like, oh well, why didn't you take off? Why didn't you become like super big after America's Got Talent? And it's you kind of got to go through some stuff. Yeah,
I feel like those shows, and I was telling my aunt that these shows are not designed for the person to go big afterwards. I don't remember now one person from these shows. I think which show was it that Tammy Chin was on?
Who's that? Who's
Reggae Star.
I'm not a
And
fan of
I
Reggae
don't know
music.
if it was America's Got Talent
Yeah.
or The Voice. It could have been The Voice. I don't know which show it was, but she was, and it was just like, I was so pissed off because it was like, girl, you had a whole album before you even did the show. And I only know that because I'm like really big into Caribbean. I'm into all music, so it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
International Caribbean, I'm into it. If it's music, I'm there. And it was just like, I would remember playing her song to like exes and to like all types of stuff. And to see her on, I think it was either, what's some shits? It was either The Voice or America's Got Talent.
American Idol.
It wasn't American Idol. It wasn't American Idol. It was either
Hip Hop.
It wasn't Love and Hip Hop. Please.
Love and Hip Hop.
I'm still mad that Spice went on Love and Hip Hop, but you know what? It is what it is, Spice. Like I
She had
love
a
you.
whole
Try to bleach
And
your
it's just
skin.
like
That was a whole
that was a
thing.
gimmick. That was a whole
yeah.
gimmick. But for somebody like Spice, a
From the
dance
Spice
hall.
Girls?
No,
No,
not from the
stop
Spice
it.
Girls. Stop
That's not what
it. You know who
she's talking
Spice
about.
is. Somebody like Spice, who's a dance hall queen, like Spice. Like you're Spice. And for you to do Love and Hip Hop, I'm not gonna lie, I was a fan who was like really disappointed.
Money talks.
I don't think it was about with her. I think it's about money. I think she really wanted because it really is about the crossover.
But hold on, let me get
Those
to
artists do not get the crossover that they want to be American big, which I
think
would
that
never,
was really
and I would never
motivation.
understand that for artists like that. You're international. Fuck America. Like
Yeah.
we're kind of small fry in a sense compared to other countries in a sense.
Yeah.
But maybe that was her perception, though.
And that's
You
the
know.
thing. Like their perception is that we're the big, and we are the big for certain things. And it's just like
for
you
music.
have to listen. I wish Bruce Lee would learn the lesson. Like China loves you. You ain't have to be big over here. Like you was big over here, but we didn't respect you. But your country respected you.
Right.
We got so much to talk about after this podcast. I disagree with a few things you just said.
What? Okay.
I do honestly. Like I'm just being honest.
And then this is the man from Integrity, right?
Yeah, I was about to get into integrity. I'm gonna skip over that.
Okay.
Social media has like I feel like as you get more followers, more fans, or whatever, I feel like they put you at a level where they look at you as like an idol, as a leader, as an escape from whatever life. Does that add any pressure to you? Because do you feel like you have to keep up a certain image, keep up like with your post consistently? You don't post personally, do you?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, you
yeah.
do. Okay, so
Yeah.
like, do you feel like they need to keep up and be present?
Yeah. You know, I mean,
There we go.
What language was that? Oh!
That was a little improvisation right
All
there.
right.
That's scary.
Speaking tongues.
My girl, just go
Caught
with
the
it. Go with
spirit.
it.
Okay.
Make
Go
it
with
work.
it.
Let's go.
I think, I do feel that pressure, but then sometimes, if I need to take time off, then I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
You know, it's just I gotta focus on what I gotta do right now, and you know, as long as I come back, like, you know, in a week or something. But I went to Bali like last year, and I just went off everything like
Off
for
the
like
grid.
a month. Yeah. But then I feel like, I don't know, like I've drawn people who tend to be pretty understanding. You know, I guess based on like what I talk about in my music. So I have a pretty good like collective of people.
I collect people.
Yeah.
There was more tequila in there
Keep
than we
them in my
thought.
pockets.
There was more tequila in there
Yeah.
than we thought, for real.
I collect people. Not
She really does. She's a Libra.
Oh, Lord.
You know?
Libras collect people.
Got him in your basement.
You know?
It's like little belt notches.
I don't like the Libra slander over there, but I don't like it.
We're great people. Yeah, so I feel like people are pretty understanding, and are you know, at the end of the day, like rooting for me. So that feels good. And if anybody does try to say anything, then I do have a team of people who kind of like jump on them or like defend me and stuff. So that's, you know, because sometimes I'll get disappointed in like someone's reaction or whatever. But then I'll be like, okay, well, focus on all these people who like support you and who are backing you up and everything. And then I'm like, okay, switch it, like flip it, you know?
We've said a lot tonight, and I just want to know: are your fans like the equivalent of crazy? It's like the Beehive. I don't want to like have said anything to get them attacking us and all that, and ruining everything we have. They're good.
Yeah,
They're sane.
Yes, at this point.
The Beehive scares me. They ruin lives.
Yeah.
Yo.
They go hard, yo.
Right,
They really go hard for
Yo,
me, yo.
they killed Carrie Hilson. When the last time you heard from Carrie Hilson?
She's
no,
doing her
it's
thing. Like
sad.
I think that's bullshit. Carrie Hilson has not been quiet since the Beehive.
I ain't heard nothing since Pretty Girls Rock. I ain't heard nothing.
Musically, like she had to take a step back, like because Carrie Hilson knows she fucked up.
Heard
It wasn't about the Beehive. It was a Carrie Hilson moment.
well,
Like it's bigger than the Beehive. Don't stop contracts. That's people upstairs.
I'm not saying anything about Beyonce's wife. I mean, Beyonce's wife. Jay-Z's wife ever again in life because I don't want to get attacked. So I feel like as all of us are aware, there's no linear trajectory to life. There's no linear trajectory for our creative paths. How do you stay focused each day? How do you wake up each day and be like, I'm gonna keep going?
Yeah. Just like overall.
Yeah, like life and creatively, all that. Like,
yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Like, I mean, music is the obvious thing. Is just like, I just want to make music all day. But then friends, you know, yeah. I mean, it's a super, you know, simple answer, but just like laughing with friends, you know, just doing things that feel good, and trying to help other people to reach that point. And just, I think just getting to a point where I don't care so much. I don't have to be perfect. And I guess just accepting myself, and you know, and my journey. Yeah, to not be so caught up in every little thing.
because you are, like, in all intents and purposes, a celebrity. To these younger kids who that blue check on your Instagram, you're somebody who's famous.
She has a blue check.
Yeah, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have like a crazy amount of followers, but yeah.
To these younger kids, that blue check is
Yeah.
everything. They,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
crave that. So, like, you just feel the need to just remain regular. You remain Antoinette and not mix scotch with Antoinette.
Well, I mean, now they're kind of the same. They're the same
same.
thing. Like, I act because before, like, Butterscotch was protecting Antoinette, and then Antoinette was lost then later on because Butterscotch was like, oh, I can't ruin my image. I can't do this. I can't do that. So then Antoinette was like, well, what can I do? You know? And so now it's kind of like everything that I have, like, been in the past, and, like, I'm growing more and more into me. And I guess it doesn't even matter what my name is. It's just, like, I feel more like me than ever before. You know?
That's powerful.
What's like your what are your thoughts on social media and how it's affecting kids and people in general? Because like I've noticed it. Like, I'm not sure if you guys ever heard this, but it's like it's a metaphor for human intimacy. It's called Hedgehog's Dilemma, where hedgehogs try to like have sex during the wintertime, but because of their spines or whatever, like it's impossible, right? So I feel like that's kind of what's happening with like people nowadays. Like people are becoming. It's harder for people to become intimate and connect with each other. So, like, have you noticed that as well? Like, maybe people around you, or just maybe even you a little bit.
Right. Yeah, I mean, well, I think with kids, like, I couldn't imagine, like, being in junior high with social media. Like, there's already so much pressure, you know, and already, you know, in career, like, when we grow up, you know, having, you know, comparing yourself to other people, but then having that start younger and younger and younger these days. It's just the amount of anxiety and, like, depression and how much it stirs up. That's hard.
It's everything nowadays. Social media is literally everything.
Yeah.
I think it's so true, though, how, like, for some reason, whatever the correlation is, it definitely provokes depression. I guess for some people, when they look at it, they, I don't know, subconsciously compare themselves to what they're seeing. And, you know, I heard somebody say you got to remind yourself that everybody's posting up their highlights.
Right.
You know, they're
Their
posting
best
up
moments,
their best moments. They're not showing you the behind the scenes. They're not showing you when, you know, they're fucking crying in their pillow.
Yeah.
Or, you know, when shit's fucked up.
And when they are showing you they crying in their pillow, everybody just like, I would never cry on Instagram. Like, I would never. The day I have to sign on and cry, it's just like. But I get that too, because I feel like some moments should be kept private. I feel like we're
Not
getting to
everything
the
should be
point where
publicized.
social media is just like, where just the internet itself.
It's no boundaries.
Yeah, it's no boundaries no more. It's just like everything has to be posted. Like everything, like I don't need to know every person you're with, bitch. Like, yeah, I break up after 3 months anyway.
Right.
Have a seat.
Right.
So,
it's okay.
I want you to see it though.
But it's okay.
That's at your own discretion.
Not
like,
me. I'm
I
talking
get
as
you.
if I was.
I get you.
No,
like,
like I get it too. Like it's like, who are we to say what people should post and shouldn't post?
Exactly.
So like on one hand, I'm just like, you know, I feel like a hater, But on the other hand, it's just like I'm thinking about it from a whole nother point of view, like from your auntie, your mother. You know, I don't have kids, so all you my babies in a sense. And I don't mean that like Nicki Minaj when she says that. I mean like literally I care about everybody. So it's just like when I see certain things, it's just like, girl, I need you to like relax. Like it's okay, you don't have to post that. Like
because some people will post it before they even give themselves a chance to deal with it.
Because you can always tell who's posting it for attention. Like
Yes.
you have creators who post shit. Like, when I see a creative page like at Benny Rose on Instagram, I love him. He's a photographer, so when he posts little things where you see half naked women or shit like that, I know it's not about look at me. Even from the women, it's about creative expression.
Right.
Because the body is a creative expression, and it's just like we shouldn't censor the body. Like we give this thing where it's just like if we see somebody naked, it has to be with sex, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
The body's just the body.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be related to like a sexual desire or need. It's up to you to figure that out,
that way.
to interpret that way. So it's just like I get it with some people, but then you have some girls who use these platforms. And it really is a look at me, like, well, I know I'm pretty, I know I'm this, so I want the attention.
I know this will get me a lot of likes. Yeah.
And that's when it becomes toxic. It's a big problem. Like, okay, what are we doing?
And I think it's also toxic when people use social media as a sense of validation.
Yes.
You shouldn't be posting to validate that you're worth something.
Right.
Or
Like,
that you're a valuable
your
person.
validation comes from yourself. Like
Yeah.
you validate yourself. You stamp that I'm that bitch. I'm that person.
Yeah.
Like you put that stamp on you. The outside world doesn't put that stamp on you.
Yeah.
Listen.
Because I've met people who's got probably like less than 100 followers on Instagram.
And they're
but
certified.
They're so amazing. Like they're
Certified.
You know what I'm saying? So
Thank
it's
you,
just-
man.
Please.
Not talking about you, Jay. I'm just playing. You are
You
amazing.
gotta be the
No,
center.
I'm just joking.
No, but like past episode 100, we exposing all these motherfuckers. Cause I'm tired of like people like.
You see what I'm talking about?
No, I'm dead ass
Oh,
though, cause
Lord.
like people are literally taking advantage of people. Like they're faking depression, they're faking
But
scenarios.
that's not
like,
us. Okay, and this is my thing with the whole faking depression thing, because I like to say people are faking being introverted, but it's not up to me to say that
I could tell
because
like,
we don't know. Like
I don't know.
we
but
don't know.
I think I know. But,
We don't
but, like,
know.
I have a really good idea.
But like mental health is like a very heavy topic. It's super. I feel like it's kind of trendy. People are writing books off this shit. Like people follow waves, bro.
But maybe
People
that's
create
a
scenarios.
mental health in itself.
That's what I'm saying.
Like people who are like you said, it's a trend. So if you feel like okay, so people who are following the trend, that's a mental health issue right there.
Yeah.
Like who the fuck wants to be crazy?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I'm single because there's something wrong with me. Like, I know that, like, my relationships don't last past 2 years. I was married and everything. It's just like, I love you bitches, but y'all don't love me. Right?
Do they?
I don't know.
They do.
I don't know. It was me. I don't know if it's me.
By the way,
sometimes.
we're interviewing you next episode.
No,
I need more answers.
Why we need answers on?
I need answers.
Until we can interview you, Jeff. then
Exactly.
it's not gonna...
Why you gotta know more about me though?
Because you want to know about everybody else.
I said
goddammit.
enough.
I even think my
I
ex-wife
created
would
the
even
fucking
come to
show
the
myself.
interview.
I've been venting.
But when we try to ask questions, about yourself,
I've been venting since episode 1. Like, go back.
I
and
know
do your
all about
research.
Jeff.
you vent at your
Kim,
own.
We got the preview last Thursday. Go Coco. Sorry.
God damn.
We got the preview last Thursday. So right, Jeff?
Help me.
Call
There's nothing I can do for you.
On your own,
There's
brother.
nothing.
It's on your own.
Do you have like an ideal collaboration with someone you want to put into the universe that you potentially want to work with one day?
Yeah.
Let's
yeah.
put it out there.
I would love to work with Kendrick.
That'll happen.
Why Kendrick?
I feel like we have like a similar
Cali vibe.
Oh, shit, I
just
forgot
like
about
influences of people, and also like he's like got that jazz kind of like To Pimp a Butterfly and stuff
I
like
love
that.
that album.
Are you
That's that,
familiar with mixtape Kendrick?
Yeah.
So
A
which
little
one
bit,
do
a
you
little
prefer
bit.
more? Like you prefer today's Kendrick or mixtape
Right.
Kendrick?
I don't know. I mean, it's both. Like that's the same with Logic. Like I like
I
Logic.
haven't gotten into
Don't
Logic.
start.
I don't
Yeah.
know if it's
I
because
listened to
he's
every
white.
album
You don't like
he's
Logic?
ever released.
Don't start.
I like Logic, but I think he's full of shit. I think in terms of
Oh God! Yeah, forget it. Never
That
mind.
doesn't
mind.
even make sense. I like you, but you're full
Why?
of shit.
Continue,
Why?
please.
We just had this debate. We can't
This is
say
after-
that.
Okay,
Like he could have really been depressed. Like he's famous. They
No, it's not
people
about
with
depressed.
money got whole types of issues.
I like Logic too. I like his music,
Yeah.
But he's full
But-
of shit.
I think he's full of shit. In terms of his story, but
It's because he broke up with Hazley. What's the girl he was
Who?
with?
Oh
Halsey?
no, he's with some other girl.
The other girl that was singing, but they were supposed
the
to.
other girl.
The other girl, what's her name? She was cute too. They all look the
I don't-
same.
The one he was married to?
Yeah, and then when he got the deal, he's like, "Let's get a divorce, bitch."
Yeah.
I
That's
just
what I'm
Yeah.
talking
No,
about.
no, no.
I got signed to Def Jam. He was like,
He's
I-
like,
I want to talk to Logic personally.
Gotta
I
go,
want,
boo.
I want Logic to be in one of these chairs. And I want to talk to him. I need to ask questions because I need clarity.
Let me go. What
All right.
What do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to be remembered by? Was it your content, your music, your energy, your personality,
Your poetry.
poetry?
Yeah, everything. And just, I think we try to search for so many things about like what we represent and everything, what we want to give to people. And what music is. And I think that for me, like it's definitely important to have like meaning in my lyrics and in my shows and everything, but the most important thing that I've realized is like that feeling. Like you don't even have to like remember like what I say, but it's like I think the biggest compliment
Feel me.
the biggest compliment that I got, and this was like 15 years ago or something, but this dude was like, after he saw my show, he was like, I don't even have to smoke after that. Like,
That's
I
real.
love your music.
That's a
Right
real
there.
compliment. Nah, that's for real.
For
That's
real.
a
Yo, I
compliment.
want to see you live so bad. Can you please perform
Yes.
I'm Okay, please? Like,
Let us
I
know
love
when you
that
have a
shit.
show out
Yeah,
here.
for
Seriously,
sure.
We
we'll
will
pull
definitely
up.
show up and turn out.
We'll pull up.
I will cry if you perform I'm Okay live. I really love that
He
song.
really is
man.
gonna
Dead
cry.
ass.
He is
Like,
I cry a lot.
I
And
gotta
I'm
learn
gonna,
it.
and I'm gonna walk away from his ass too, everybody. I'm gonna
Yo.
just own him that night.
Dead ass.
Good.
A man that cries.
How has 2019 been for you so far in terms of your career? Like, has it been good? Has everything
It's
worked
been
out how you
pretty.
wanted?
You know what? I am doing everything that I want to do right now.
And that's what's
So
up.
I would say, I may have my days where I feel off or whatever, but I just look at my life and I'm like, I'm doing everything I want to do right now. So it's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good.
Do you have any more goals left for the rest of the year? You have like about 6 months, 5 months left?
Yeah. To write down more goals, to get my whiteboards done. Yeah, I need to finish up this full length album that I have, and create more, and then just kind of I want to jump on someone's tour. But then I'm like, well,
Pick her.
Please.
but then I'm also like, you know what? Like, let me just go straight to like headlining, like if I don't want to, I mean, I would love to open, of course, that would be awesome. But like, if I can have anything I want, then like, I want to be a headlining artist. So
You're on your way.
You know, this
It's-
is the week to put all that shit in fruition. Like I said, there's no rituals, people.
yeah.
But, get ready.
No,
Right.
even then, even outside of that, like the music is undeniably good, and the people who aren't like onto you, like they will be after this, hopefully, and if
Yes.
not, they will catch on soon because the music is undeniably good.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
you're extremely talented.
Yeah.
After this interview, like I'm a fan. Like
Oh,
I'm
thank
gonna
you.
be at every show in New York. I'm gonna get every project.
Oh,
Like,
cool.
I think you're awesome, truly.
Thank you.
I'm definitely gonna dig into your music, and I hope you drop some videos.
Yeah.
I would love to
That's-
see you in some
yeah,
videos.
that's next. That's what I'm gonna do next.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. This is awesome. I think
Thank
this is
you.
like my first podcast, and like I love podcasts, so like
We're on
this is
it.
cool. This is
First
cool.
one.
This is really cool. You guys all are fun and have good energy, so I
Thank you.
appreciate this.
Lastly, we have this segment on this podcast called "Don't Sleep," where basically we recommend to the audience something you shouldn't sleep on, whether it be simply as your music or some food you had last week or whatever. Mine this week is I didn't probably articulate it last episode because it was just a bad episode. I was bad that episode. I didn't enjoy that episode for me personally, but I'm repeating it again. I said start playing life by ear, and what I meant by that is like. Don't worry about what's happening tomorrow. Don't worry about what's happening after you listen to this episode. Just play life by ear and take it second by second, minute by minute, day by day, and just enjoy it because you'll be missing out on more moments worrying
Right.
about what's next. So just play life by ear and enjoy that shit.
Yeah.
CR Coco Laney, you have anything people shouldn't sleep on?
Yeah, he'll come back to me last. Let me get it.
CR from DR, or not from DR, fresh back from DR. Yes, people shouldn't sleep on.
Don't sleep on Popeye's Louisiana chicken. Oh, that shit was good. I had that before I got here, but not for real though. Don't sleep on seeing the world, man. I had my first trip out of the country. I went to DR. I'm gonna keep traveling. I'm inspired to keep traveling.
Hashtag CR and DR. I'm gonna keep saying that.
And I feel like, you know, that's something that's a part of the process. Like next year, I'm making a thing. I want to go to the UK, and I want to actually stay out there for like a week and make some music connections out there. Because a lot of people have been telling me that I should try and market my music out there to see what kind of buzz I could get, because they're more into conscious music.
Right.
So I'm going to definitely test that out. So I just say go out there, tread the waters, and just, you know, don't be afraid to hop on a plane.
That's dope.
What I was going to say was actually a play on what you're saying, CR, for the introverts specifically. You know, if you're in your shell lately and, you know, you're thinking of ways of how to, you know, get out of it, just try little things, whatever that may be, you know, having conversations with people that, you know, that usually would make you, like, terrified, you know, even just the thought of it, you know how introverts are. But put yourself out there, you know, it doesn't have to be, you know, something great and grand, but just little by little, just so that way, you know, you get more comfortable with being out of your shell as opposed to always being into it. So.
Make small steps to big moves.
There you go.
Yeah.
Helena, did you figure yours out yet?
Do not sleep in your intuition. When shit comes to you, it comes to you for a reason, and that's just that. Like, I feel like 2019 is a very heavy spiritual year, a very awakening year. We are in the age of Aquarius, and if you are not walking in the path you're supposed to be walking into, you're going to meet obstacle after obstacle and a problem after problem. And if you don't understand that, then I don't know what to tell you at
You'll
this
keep
point.
getting slapped in the face, damn it.
Exactly. Like, God is spanking everybody this year. And I just, you know, I want to say that just to say, like, the bitch who got this spell on me right now, I'm going to whoop your ass. But it's all right, because the reverse was coming, ho. Thanks.
Did you happen to formulate your own don't sleep in your
Oh,
head?
yeah. I guess don't sleep on intimate connections. And I don't mean, like, physically, but, like, just having, like, genuine, you know, kind of to piggyback off what you were saying, but, like, having genuine conversations with people and like going, you know, taking that step further of you know, of acknowledging someone who is in your presence, and yeah, just being open to good people, because there are good people.
I feel like you want to be my second wife right now.
Yo, you were seriously so awesome. Like, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Please shout out where people can find you and follow you and find your music and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can check out my latest, the Scotch EP. It's on iTunes, Spotify, Bandcamp, all the platforms. On social media, Instagram is Butterscotch Music. Facebook is Butterscotch. YouTube, Butterscotch Music. My website is butterscotchmusic.com. You can text me. I have my number. Oh, I don't have my number on Instagram right now, but I have it somewhere. But yeah.
She's not giving out her number this episode.
No,
yet.
no.
People got excited.
If I could remember it, I would do it. Oh, where is it? Yeah, no, but there is actually a way to. I'll post on my Instagram. You guys can text me later.
Word. And if you enjoyed this episode, like wherever you're indulging at, whether it be Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever, like please utilize that rating system, because it definitely inspires us and then makes us want to keep going. We have merchandise. We have 10 items of merchandise available.
Right.
I'm not going to read the whole link. I'm going to put it in the bio of this episode. But if you follow us on Instagram at Introverted Intuition Pod, hit the link in
Get
the bio.
some socks. Get some lighters.
Get some socks. Get a denim jacket. Get some t-shirts, some tank tops,
Joggers.
some official.
Joggers.
You can rep the home team. And if you fucking post a selfie with that merchandise, we'll fucking repost you and shout you out and love you and all that shit.
Major facts.
Maybe even interview if you're interested in it.
I don't know about that. But yeah, so much. Thank you so much
Maybe
for
they have
listening.
a real deep mental health story. Like, yo, I swear.
Word. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye.
Later.